For a while, Keenen, the pioneer of the family, worked the door at the Improv in New York and tried to listen to other comedians on stage. While there, he even met a young comedian named Eddie Murphy. But he wanted to do more. So, at the age of 20, Keenen moved to California and convinced his friend Townsend to follow. In fact, they wrote their first script together on the drive from New York to Los Angeles. It was about a basketball team stuck in a haunted house. 2 years later, in 1980, Keenen would meet Arsenio Hall when auditioning for a spot on stage at the Comedy Store, one of the most instrumental venues for comedians in California. Owned by Mitzi Shore, Pauly Shore's mother, many notable comedians started there. The flagship location had 3 rooms. The original room, which held about 99 patrons, the main room, which held about 450 patrons, and the belly room. They used a lottery system at the Comedy Store just like the Improv did. Comedians would draw for a chance to audition. After the audition, they got the chance to do a short set. Keenen and Hall scored spots at the Westwood location, which was where Mitzi Shore started out the acts that had great potential but needed more refining. Through doing sets at different comedy spots, Keenen landed a development deal with NBC. Here's a story about one of the weird places he had to do comedy.
Well, I remember my first job performing at a racquetball convention.
Oh, God.
And it was me by the
court?
Juice bar. No, by the juice bar with a microphone and racquetball courts all around me. And as people came to the juice bar, I was trying to tell my act, and right on the punchline, the blender would...
Keenen got small roles on Cheers, Chips, Highway Honeys. He was a love interest in the Irene pilot in 1981 for Irene Cara's sitcom, which was to build on the success of Fame, and he was a writer for The Jeffersons and Good Times. Though these shows were pivotal black sitcoms, they were staffed with white writers and white producers. Keenen had become the resident black person in the writer's room, as white writers would make up black slang, but now they had Keenen to give them actual black slang. Finally, on October 5th, 1983, Keenen did stand-up on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
And I'm like, where's this dude's head at? Does he think there's some secret organization sitting around going, okay, members, listen up. Now, there are too many black people making it in this country. They're making much too much progress. Now, let's see. We've got Malcolm X. We've got Martin Luther King. Dwayne.
For the first time, he was center stage, doing what he loved, and his entire family was watching at home. Not only had he made it to The Tonight Show, but he was invited to the couch by Carson, a huge achievement.
Keenen was found on Johnny Carson. Okay, Johnny Carson, it was probably 1980. I remember watching Keenen on Johnny Carson. Doing stand-up, and it was really funny, and I remember watching him on this black and white TV we had, and it was hard to get to the station because we didn't have no dials on it, so we had to use a fork to get there, and an antenna was a hanger, and we watched them, and I couldn't believe as a child watching my brother in a TV, and I was probably like maybe 1980, that's 12, or younger than that. It was before 1980, it was probably 70-something, and I just couldn't believe I seen my brother in a television show. And I was just like, and as a kid, I always wanted to be an actor. So seeing him kind of crystallize it for us. And then Johnny called Keenen to the couch.
Oh.
See, this was back when there was no YouTube. This was when Carson was YouTube. When Johnny called you to the couch, that
was the biggest.
Yes. And so that was the beginning of Keenen. And Keenen, from there, he kind of raised us like little Jedis.
Just like Keenen, Damon would work his way up in stand-up before proceeding to go into television and film. While visiting Keenen in 1982, his older brother took Damon to the apartment of Robert Townsend. Townsend had set up a wonky soundstage and wanted to film some sketches along with their friends, an improv group known as The Kitchen Table. At this point, Damon had never performed before, and his only goal in life thus far was to be a rapper.
Yeah! The girls say sweet, see we do adore, but could you rhyme with your name? A real F stands for, well the S is for the sucker MCs who bite, try to be like me. You see the W is for whenever I'm around. I guarantee the people a vicious throwdown. And now the E is for everywhere I go. The people ask me to host the show, and now the other E is for evil, which I'm not. I had to say something to fill the spot, and now the T is for the rhymes I got. I use them at the party to rock the spot. And now the big letter D is for my ding-a-ling. And look out, ladies, because they like to sing. And here we go, y'all.
This would later turn into DJing. But around this time, he was expecting his first child and needed to make a tangible change in his life. After some coaching from Keenen, he got his first gig where he bombed. After getting hot on stage and tossing his jacket, he realized he'd left the note cards with his jokes in the pocket. The good thing was that Damon had a lot of characters in his head that helped him fill time. Like Keenen, he auditioned for the Comedy Store, which was pivotal for his career.
You got to do this act of worship, and she would sit in the back of the room in a monkey fur coat and just like watch you, and then she had the most wicked laugh, and if you made her laugh, you knew you were in. And when she said, "Start calling in," it's just like I felt like I floated home. You know, there's certain things that happen to you in show business that you go, I'm on my way. That was one of them. I'm on my way. This crazy bitch think I'm funny. I'm on my way.
Once he made it to the main location, he was pitched an interesting idea by Mincy Shore.
He had her little weird ways, like putting me with Joey Kamen in a group, Salt and Pepper. You're gonna be Salt, and he's gonna be Pepper. It's gonna be so funny. And it's like he was getting all the laughs, and she would be in the back of the room laughing and giving us spots. We'd get 3 spots a night. And then I told her, I said, that's the first time I got thrown out of the Comedy Store. I'm not gonna do this no more. I didn't come out here to be Pepper.
While working the comedy club scene, Damon met a man named James Carey. They connected because they weren't afraid to bomb and because they felt like they were both angry comics.
And you would get up there, and I would sit and watch him, and just like he would go to territory that you just don't go.
It was funny.
The thing about your sister getting beat up.
Oh yeah. Then that's what I say. How the dude knocked the teeth out and she's talking about, I just help him with something.
No, it's just something about him. Why are you with this guy? He's beating your ass. It's just something about him.
When Damon performed at the Improv for the first time, his big brother Keenen was in the audience. Not only did he do his brother proud, he made fans out of Melvin George and Eddie Murphy. At this time, Murphy's career was booming, but he was extremely close to the Wayans family. Marlon remembers meeting Eddie at the age of 8.
I've known Eddie since I was 8 years old because my brother Keenen used to write and produce with him. And Eddie actually came to my apartment in the projects. He was the biggest movie star in the world. He came to my projects, and it was funny because me and my brother, we thought we was funny, so we thought we'd roast Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy was wearing these cowskin pants. So every time he sat down, me and my brother would go, moo. And so at the end, Eddie wrote us an autograph. He said, to Marlon, to Sean, be free. To Marlon, one day you'll make it. And to Craig, when you get older, I'm gonna punch you in your face.
He just left Saturday Night Live after helping to completely revitalize the show, and now he was working on his new film, Beverly Hills Cop, a film on which he'd gotten Damon a role. Beverly Hills Cop went on to make over $700 million at the box office in 1984.